Right, an absolutely fabulous day. Not a cloud in the sky, nice sunny, gentle breeze. Not too hot, just right. I have been away for 5 days. I've just come back to the garden to sort of with fresh eyes, if you like, because sometimes if you walk through your garden every day, then you tend to overlook things, as it were, or just don't appreciate the growth on things until you've been away for a bit and come back. So let's have a look what's going on. So at the minute, obviously, we've still got the polytunnel up. That is going to be there for the next month or so until I get all the plants out and have a chance to sort out that particular area and turn it into a nice sunken sitting area. But in the meantime, yeah, we've got the giant bird of paradise out and standard bird of paradise there, sort of welcome you into the sunken area. Anyway, so we've got all the palms that are indoors over winter. They're acclimatising to the light levels in the greenhouse before I start bringing them out to full sun. Some will spend the whole summer in the greenhouse until they get to a certain size. I'm sort of forcing them to an extent, but yeah, so that's absolutely packed full of palms at the moment. So this area here outside the conservatory, we've got the 2 tree ferns in pots, and there's a lot of mess around here because it's where I've been potting up and doing a lot of work. But yeah, so we've got the 2 big tree ferns here which more or less stayed green over winter, looking a bit sort of shabby now, but we've got all the new fronds in the centre pushing out. They're all doing their thing now, looking quite good. So when they're fully out and unfurled, then I'll consider cutting the old fronds off. So yeah, it's just not really a garden tour, just to look around and see what's going on. So we already looked at the regrowth on some of these yuccas, so that's going to be slow and probably take all summer to get them looking half decent again. The Mexican lilies really put on some size, so I don't think we'll get it to flower this year, but maybe next year we might get a big old flower spike, and that would be quite nice. A lot of the cacti in here are really now starting to get some buds on them, look like they're going to flower. We have got a couple in flower already, and the Braheo Mata looking really silvery blue in the sun, is pushing out. It's now worked on opening a frond, and we've got another big spear coming up as well, so that's looking very promising. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, some of these cacti which are in flower, I don't know if we can just see that orange flower there, is the cacti itself is covered in weeds, so I've got to get in there and sort them out. So since like I said, I've been away for 5 days, so I've come back. We've had no rain, so we've got a bit of growth because there's still some moisture in the ground, but that is, if we'd had a couple of rains, that would have been quite nice to get things going. But that's been warm and sunny, so yeah, things are going. We've got the Trachycarpus nova, which is now starting to open a new leaf, and that's looking quite whitey blue on the back of that, but they don't tend to keep that for long. There's a slight sort of blue to the back of the leaves, but not in general that nice. But yeah, that should start growing well this year. We've got the pups on the banana. one of them is really starting to take off, and the others are slowly catching up. We've got the Cyclenensis Bengal tiger just unfurling a new leaf. That's looking really nice and stripy. That's looking good. The old palm grass, which amazingly survived winter, is starting to put some size on now. And even though I did cut back the Persicaria red dragon, that's already 3 foot tall again, filling out that nice gap at the back, looking a good contrast to the other green and foliage around it. Yeah, this one here, hollyhocks. So this one planted, I mean, we had a few plants a couple of years back, and these are biannual, so last year it's probably just a tiny little plant that I didn't really notice at the time, but obviously this year has started to come into full growth because it's going to want a flower, so it's got some buds on that. We'll leave that because I believe that's going to be quite a nice colour. If it's anything like the one I had last year, that's quite tropical colours on that, so we'll see, but we'll leave that for now, even though it is blocking a bit of light to some of the cannas at the back, which are only started to push through. So that's Canna indica purpurea. Yeah, starting to get a few now in shadow here. Yeah, so things are growing. It's just a matter of a bit of patience, I guess. I'm going to do a separate video on some of the palms after the winter damage and how they're recovering. But let's just have a look at this Gunnerer, because that really is starting to take off now. So that is a 6 foot fence, and that's not far off hitting that at the moment. And I'm sure that I'll get a lot taller than the fence. And the leaves are already well over 1 metre across, so they're doing their thing this year, because we've had plenty of rain so far this season. That's really taken off, doing quite well. So this border here is in the shade this time of day, so it's sort of early afternoon, and this is full sun in the morning, but yeah, by midday it starts getting shaded. But yeah, again, everything's filling out. All the hostas are looking a little bit eaten, but still got some size on them. The little spotty dotty there, a little bit of slug damage as well by the looks of it. A nice painted fern. Yeah, things are starting to really kick in now, starting to look quite lush. Still no real signs of any growth on this Tetrapanix. I mean, there's a couple of small buds. I don't know if they're dead from last year or whether they might regrow. Still just play the patience game on that. I want to see what happens. We have got a Stuttgart Canna here, just its first little leaf, stripy white. So I put that in the shade side, because in full sun the white on this browns off in full sun, so it needs a bit of shade. But obviously the flip side to that is it's not getting as much heat. So we'll see what that does. And yeah, this is one I did notice. I mean, I've been looking for this for the last couple of weeks, and like I say, since I've been away and come back, it's popped up. This is one of the corpse lilies, one I bought last year, with really big leaves on it. And yeah, we'll start to get a spike on that. So that's going to be interesting when that comes out. While we're talking about corpse lilies, let's just go over to the other one. So yeah, it's looking a bit weird at the minute. I mean, they're supposed to like full sun, but I think they seem to do a little bit better with a bit of shade, because this is full sun all day, and the leaves are, I don't know, still looking a bit weird and curly. But just looking at the trunk, I guess you'd call it, really nice pattern on that. And we've obviously got a couple of babies coming out the sides as well. No sign of a flower spike on that yet. Right, so the Pedicets palmatum are starting to get a reasonable size on now, and starting to get the spotted leaves like they do as they mature. So yeah, I mean, fairly good size. The ones that get more sun are a lot more yellow. They're sort of bleached out a little bit. They do better in sort of a deeper shade. So I have got a small tree fern at the back here, which I keep meaning to cut all the dead leaves off, because it's started to unfurl a couple of new ones. So I really need to get that opened up a bit, because that's going to be a bit restricted there. Right, so we've got the Schefflera Taiwaniana, which is only just starting to put a new flush of growth at the top there. I mean, there's loads of, seem to be loads of growth at the bottom, lots of new shoots. Right, so let's just come round here. So again, sort of going into the shadier side now. So we've got the 5-foot tree fern here, which is flushing out. Lots of nice new growth on that. So again, compare that to the older foliage. So once that's fully unfurled and opened out, we'll probably cut the old leaves off. So yeah, I don't know how well that's going to show up. It's probably silhouetted, but we've got the nice flowers on the cord lines there. They're now starting to get some colour to them. And what I did notice the other day actually was how big the leaves are on this new flush on the Fatsia. That is the variegated form. So let's get a little bit of a closer look. So the leaves are really getting quite large. Not a huge amount of variegation on them, but we've got some white bits, and I'm sure as they harden off and mature, they'll look even better. But yeah, all the new growth on that, really good size. So that's coming on nicely. When it comes to the shade corner, or right in the back corner of the garden here, didn't really think this one through. I wanted a big hosta for the centre, and I forgot how big this thing gets. So this is the Sum and Substance again, and that's bigger. Well, I know they tend to get bigger every year, but I moved this just as that was starting to, just before the leaves opened. So I moved it from the other side of the garden to over here, and sort of maybe expected it to, I don't know, slow it down or maybe not get any bigger, but this thing is probably double what it was last year, and the leaves are absolutely massive, and I'm guessing the plant itself is well over 4 foot across from here all the way over to there, and it's pretty much blocked out the Buddha. But I think in general It's looking alright. It's filled that big gap up, and there's plenty of other foliage textures and shapes around it to break it up and keep it interesting. So yeah, it's all looking quite nice and lush down there. And my Trachycarpus, which I've had for 10-12 years, never flowered for me. The trunk is probably just over 6 foot now, and then this year I've been waiting and waiting, and we finally got it. We've got the flower starting to come out. So it might be a bit later than a lot of other people's. I believe that's probably due to the fact it's in full shade, because that is, I mean, some of the top leaves are getting the full sun, but with the Canariensis in the way, that you don't really see it, but that's there, and it is starting to flower, so that's good. So yeah, in general, I think that a good idea is, if you're going to go away for any amount of time, I went round the garden and just give everything a thorough watering, because I knew it weren't really supposed to rain this week, which it hasn't. So I give everything a good watering, and especially all the new plantings. So like these cord lines here, so Southern Splendor, and we've got the coral cord line there. So we gave, because they're only been in for a month or so, and that has been raining up till now, but the last week has been quite dry and warm, so this could be the turning point where we start getting the droughts, but we'll see. But anyway, yeah, so give everything a good watering, and then got back yesterday and we gave everything another good watering. So the pink china, which was exposed all winter, just basically the bulb, sat in water, and that's we sent out a pup, and we've got 2 or 3 growing points on it as well, so that should do okay. Right, so we'll leave it there, because what I am going to do is do another video on looking at some of the palms and how they're recovering after that very cold winter we had, all the cold patches over the winter. Well, just a quick look at the Xanthidea flowers starting to come out there, looking good. Yeah, so all in all, a little bit late, but things are growing and starting to fill out. Right, leave it there. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.